episode of Bull City Bravest podcast. It's your boy Tim McCoy. I'm here with some friends that are near and dear to me. Today, I have El Presidente, Jason Davis of the Loco 668. Jason, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
You look good, man.
I appreciate you.
You got
Thank
your nice little tan going on. I can't tell. I got shit. I don't know if I had to take the Vipers on real quick. Nah, you got a nice little tan. Patrick, how you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I think you've got yourself a motto now. It's your boy Tim McCoy. That rolled really well off the tongue. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I've been wanting to do it for a couple episodes. I just keep forgetting it, so I might try to go with it. But yeah, man. Yo, it's hot out here in these streets, so I'm glad to be inside today. It's been definitely extremely hot. But before we get into it, because we're about to dig into our guest today, just want to point out today's shirt is from my very first Fire Explorer camp, which was a success. So just shout out to the Bull City Explorers. Very successful camp. Kids really got into it. Got some future potential for the fire department, so that was a great thing. And Jason, what you got on
repping Local 668.
The members
for the local here.
Yeah.
And
the old Durham Bulls color scheme.
That's right. Pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Durham Bulls. All right, so listen, man. Let's get right into it. Jason, you want to tell the people how we know each other? Or just tell how you know we know each other.
So I was fortunate enough to get assigned to the rescue company a couple years into coming to Durham, and you were the driver on the truck, and it was awesome to have that opportunity to be assigned to the truck and be able to work with you alongside you. So
like Jason said, hey man, listen, we gonna give him the real. Hey, we was on the rescue truck together. We did a lot of gangster things on the rescue truck, a lot of calls. Yeah, man, like you said, it was some good times.
we did, yeah.
Both just the calls itself, but just the atmosphere in the station one, and a bunch of jokes, a lot of pranks. We had a great crew out there at Station 1. So now, and you recently got promoted. So
I did, yeah.
You're assigned, where you assigned now?
So I'm assigned to Engine 2 on A shift, the driver of one of the new trucks that hit the street not long ago. And it's a lot of fun. We're a busy company. Last year, Engine 2 was the busiest engine in the city.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
I didn't think Engine 2 was the busiest.
Engine 2 was the busiest engine in the city last year.
Wow.
So,
I ain't say it. Hey, if it's not true, I didn't say it. Engine 1, Engine 3. I know y'all get picky about that. So,
well, according to the numbers,
men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yes, right. But no. So we go to we cover a lot of Duke's campus. Got that west side of downtown. So
Pride of the West Side. The Old West.
Fighting with the devil. So that's kind of our motto at Engine 2.
So you're back on the engine. You're a hose jockey now. But listen,
I'm more of a lever puller.
Okay. You're supplying the water
That's
to the
right.
fire hose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a driver, so that's what they do. For those that don't know, drivers supply water to the fire hose and supply water to other trucks. So a lot of times you do stay by the truck, not unless second, third due, then you get a chance to.
Yeah, third due is where it's at if you're not first due, because third due you actually get to pack up and go inside. You're not outside helping that first driver, which is important, but it's not as fun as going inside. You know what it's like. Yeah.
So when we mention third due, just again for those that don't know, third due is the third engine company, not the company on scene, but the third engine company on scene, and Durham being very traditional and very bread and butter, we have our assignment. So you already know, based off your arrival, what you're expected to do. So that's one thing I think that we've definitely improved on in this department since I've been here, is like knowing for sure what everyone does, and it's pretty much just like automatic these days, unless you get like something commercial or out of the ordinary.
I will tell you, as a driver, like it makes things flow smoother, right? Like as I'm driving, I'm also listening to the radio, and so and I know where at in the districts, where other engines are coming from. So it kind of gives me an idea of, okay, when we pull up on scene, hey, I'm going to be helping the first in driver. I'm going to be the first in truck. Or, hey, when we get there, I'm going to park far enough out of the way and then pack up and go in with my crew. And so it is helpful to know those things.
So I will say this. We'll backtrack a little bit. You said you were able and blessed enough to go to the rescue truck being fairly new into the department. How long have you been on the department, and where did you come from? Let's get into how you got here. How you end up in Durham?
So we'll start from the beginning. When I was a senior in high school in Indiana, that's where I'm originally from, is Indiana. I had dated a girl, and her dad was a volunteer firefighter. And I'd always knew I wanted to be a part of the fire service. My grandfather was a firefighter. And so I knew I wanted to be involved with the fire department. Well, the girl I was dating, her dad was on a volunteer fire department in our local community. And he was like, hey, if you want to do it, here's the application. He said, I'll be your sponsor, because you had to have a sponsor then. And so in the summer of 2000, I filled out this application, and I got brought on as a volunteer firefighter in a small little community in northern Indiana, and that started the journey for me to get where I'm at. So I was a volunteer firefighter for a few years. Met my wife right after high school. We started dating, moved to Indianapolis, and I got hired as a full-time firefighter just in a suburb outside of Indianapolis. And I was there. I was a member of that department for 12 years.
Now, when you applied, did you get hired your first time? How did that? What was that process for them in Indiana? What was that like?
So I actually got hired my second go. No, I'm sorry. I got hired my third go around. So I got hired as a part-time firefighter my first time I applied there, and then my second time I applied. It's kind of a crazy story. This is how life will catch you. So I applied there the second time to go full-time, and the written test was the exact same day as one of my good friends' weddings.
Oh, man.
And I was part of the wedding. And so I had already missed the rehearsal because I knew I had to take this written test. So I literally took the written test in like 15 minutes.
Oh, you rushed through it?
Oh, I rushed.
They only did it one day?
It was one day.
Oh, man.
It was one day. There's like 120 people in this room.
That's how I suck.
And I did this written test in like 15 minutes. And when I went to hand it in, the chief at the time looked at me and said, are you sure you want to hand this in right now? I was like, hey, look, just take it, grade it, call me, let me know what happens. I got to go, because the wedding was like 3 hours away from where I was taking this test.
Wow.
So like, we get going, get on the road, and he called me. He was like, yeah, you got like 10 questions right out of 100 questions on this test. He's like, did you
My
take
boy
it?
didn't even look at the question. This is like C, B, D.
Yeah.
And that's the high school method. Just keep circling C. That's all it is. When in doubt, it's C.
He was like, did you even read the question? I was like, no, I didn't. He's like, all right, come back next year when you want to get hired full-time, and we'll go through this. So I had to do it again. So I got hired full-time, which actually worked out in my favor, because had I got hired that year, I would have had to have gone to medic school. So I had to become a paramedic.
Wow.
And I'm not a medic person. EMS has its place, but not for me.
Right, exactly.
But like, so I would have had to gone to school to be a paramedic and also a firefighter, because they ran fire and EMS out of the same department. So the next year when I got hired, I did not have to go to medic school, which worked out really well for me. So spent 10 more years there doing that. And then my wife said, hey, I've got a really good job offer in North Carolina in the Raleigh area. And she said, what do you think about moving? And I was like, there's only one way I'm going to move, and that's if I get a fire department job. Like, I'm not going to be a fireman. Like, I love being a fireman. So.
Hold on, before we get to how the Durham aspect. So 10 years in your old department, right? You don't have to name your department, but
it's a Greenfield Fire. It's like 14 miles east of Indianapolis.
So how was that, like, working next to a big city? Because Indy has a big department.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
Yeah.
trucks they have at stations, but I know it's fairly big, probably around 40 or something. I can't remember exactly, but they have a big department. How was it being a suburb for them? Did you run a lot with Indy? And what as far as tactically, is it? I mean, the job is the job, but how did you guys operate compared to where you're at now?
So when I first started there, I'll give you the union side first. So when I first started there, we were part of the Indianapolis Union. We were part of the 416. And after a couple years of being there, our issues and Indianapolis's issues were completely different.
Okay.
So they were like, hey, you guys got to form your own. Like, we're not going to kick you out, but we need you to go ahead and organize your own local. So we did. And so the county had one because there were 2 other career departments in our county. So we were a city department and 2 other townships. So we were kind of separate for a couple years, and then we were like, why are we doing this? This is silly. So then we all merged together, and we had one just county-wide local. So that was kind of cool. But as far as working close to Indianapolis, there were a couple times where we would get pulled towards the east side of Indianapolis, but not very many times because, I mean, they've got like 43 or 45 stations in Indianapolis.
Okay.
It's
pretty
pretty big, right? So, like, if you think about Indianapolis and Charlotte bounce back and forth between population and department stuff. So Charlotte and Indianapolis are very comparable.
Okay.
In fact, I know when Charlotte does some of their studies for pay and different things like that, Indianapolis is part of that conversation.
All
so
right.
they're very comparable in size. Now, we had incidents in Greenfield that we did call Indianapolis out. So, this is a long time ago, probably like my second year on the job. We got dispatched to, and this was like during the whole like white powdery substance stuff that was going on.
So what year was that? That was what year did you start there?
So I started there in full time. I was there 08, so that was 9-10. So there's just still that white powdery
2010.
stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of those anthrax. Anthrax
like
calls.
anthrax stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of those.
So like we got dispatched to this white powdery substance, and that's all we got dispatched to. And it was like in the summertime, so we're thinking, might be some chlorine, right? Like that chlorine powder.
Mm-hmm.
Get there, and when we pull up, this kid like is coming at us, and he's got white powder all over him, and I was kind of taken back at first, and as he got closer, like my eyes start watering, snot's like coming out.
It's like for real.
It was for real, and I'm like, what is happening? So like we're already exposed, and we get this kid into an ambulance that's there. So I'm exposed and another.
How close was he? Hold on. You say your eyes start watering. How close was he to you?
Probably like 5 feet, 5-6 feet.
And it was already. You was already
getting.
Wow. Okay.
So so we get him in the ambulance, and we got air pack off the engine. So I'm sitting there and I'm breathing on an air pack, but it's already affected me. Like my eyes are watering. I can barely like breathe because all this snot and all this stuff. And we're asking this kid, like, what happened? What is this stuff? And he never would tell us. He said, it went off in my room. And we're like, what went off? Long story short, we had Indianapolis come out. Their hazmat team came out, and they tested it. This kid had an uncle that was part of a SWAT team or whatever, and it was tear gas that went off. And he was afraid he was going to get in trouble for having this tear gas grenade. It went off in his bedroom. So that's why we had all the snot and the eyes and all that stuff.
Oh, so okay.
So
it was anthrax, which was good.
Yeah, but it was tear. So we got tear gas.
I don't know how my man survived it, but tear gas sucks.
Dude, it was terrible.
Wow.
But yeah, so Indianapolis came out for the hazmat stuff.
Did y'all have a great did your department have some aspect of hazmat
So we did after that. So that showed our department like, hey, we probably ought to get into this a little bit. So they started the hazmat team there, and then I believe it's a county-wide hazmat team now. It's the same thing with the technical rescue. It is a county-wide technical rescue team there. So a couple departments have like certain disciplines, and then other department has another discipline, but they all respond. but like one department would be in charge of maintaining all the water equipment, and then another department would be in charge of maintaining like the shoring stuff, things like that.
Okay.
So it's the department I came from had 2 firehouses. We ran, I don't know, I honestly could not tell you how many calls we ran my last year there. It was a significant amount. It was nothing for the engine to run 15 to 17 calls a day out of the firehouse. I was fortunate enough, my last 6 years, I was super fortunate to be assigned to the rescue there. So we cross-staffed a ladder and a rescue truck. So if it was anything but a structure fire, we took the rescue. If it was a structure fire, we took, obviously, the ladder.
So you said you had 2 stations. Like, what was that area that you were in? Was that like city? Like, was it?
So we were a city department. We did have some rural area that was part of it. The unfortunate thing is being outside of Indianapolis, there wasn't a whole lot of money in our area. So like that fire department, they need about 5 more firehouses and a lot more people. They don't have the funding for it. The tax base isn't there to support what they need actually as a fire department. They're making huge progress now. Like I still have really close friends there. They're making a lot of progress in that, but like, yeah, it's tough. So we went to one of the last fires I went to when we were there. It was a 1,500 square foot ranch house, and we had 6 people.
Oh,
that's all we had. We had 6 people.
That's including the drivers?
Yeah, that's the other station was out on a serious crash, and we had 6 people.
Getting it.
Yeah,
Getting it.
So like,
That's what you call getting salty.
yeah, I don't know about that. It's some cowboy stuff.
Yeah, what's a cow? 6 people. Wow.
Yeah, so like that's what we had. So you just made it work, right? Like you had one crew fighting inside and another crew doing ventilation, and you're trying to get everything done. And once you get a good knock on the fire, then you set the hose over here, and you got a pike pole in the other hand or a New York hook, and you're pulling sealing and trying to spray and
going through multiple bottles.
Yeah,
that's what we used to do that here.
It was nothing to go through 3-4 bottles on a fire.
We used to do that here. Not so much now. We don't do it at all now. But back in the day, it was nothing to go through more than 1 bottle and just go back and get some more. But obviously, we improved practices, so we're better in that aspect. Now you said 10 years there, right?
So that was 10 years career there. Yep.
And then you came. Your wife said, "Hey, got this opportunity."
Yeah. So like it's wild because we got online and I'm looking like the Raleigh area, Durham, Chapel Hill, and Chapel Hill had a lateral hiring process, and I'm like, all right, so I type all the stuff in, submit it. Literally, I wake up the next morning at like 6 a.m. I get an email. Thank you, but no thank you. We're only hiring North Carolina certified firefighters. And I was like, this might be tougher than I thought. Like, this might be hard.
Was your certifications, they weren't going to switch?
Well, like, they did. Like, I got it when I came here to Durham. But, like, for some reason, Chapel Hill was like, no, we just want
Chapel Thrill.
So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And so then, like, 2 weeks later, I get this email notification that Durham is doing a lateral process. I'm like, I'm gonna try this one. And I told my wife, I was like, look, if this one doesn't go, we're not meant to go. Like it's not meant to be. So I submit all my stuff.
You gotta turn down that job. If this doesn't work out, we're not leaving.
Well, it was tough, right?
Yeah.
And so I submitted all my stuff, and the wonderful Susan Mangum. Miss Mangum.
Shout out to Miss Mangum. Hey, she's a doll.
Yeah. She's the unsung hero of the Durham Fire Department.
Behind the scenes, she helps me out so much with this recruiting aspect. Like, just anytime I have a question, she'll be like, let me take care of that for you. And you do it. She's awesome.
So she reached out to me, and I got this thing that said, hey, the written test and the agility test are this day. It was July I want to say it's like July 29th or July 30th.
Boy, remember, I don't remember anything about my process.
Of 2018. And the only reason I remember that is my wedding anniversary is July 30th of 2018.
You and these weddings, I don't.
So that's my anniversary. So I told my wife, I was like, hey, look, this is when it is. I said, so I get off work on the 28th at 7 a.m. Have the kids, or no, I get off work on the 29th. I said, have the kids ready to go. As soon as I get home from work, we'll load up, we'll drive to North Carolina, we'll do a 48-hour trip to North Carolina with the kids, and then drive back. She said, okay. So we did. We did a little 48-hour family vacation. I came down here. We stayed over in 16th District. And we got here late the night of the 29th. I got up. She dropped me off here at the academy. And I did the written test and the agility test. And then passed those, which was great. She picked me up. We took the kids over to some bounce fun place in the area. We let them run off some energy, loaded back up, and drove back home. And I was on shift in my department the next day.
Wow, that's a lot, especially with your gang. You got a whole roster over there.
I got 4 of them.
4 of them.
Yeah.
4 of them. So, question: when you applied to Durham, I mean, obviously you applied to Chapel Thrill. You didn't know much about them. You were just looking for places, right?
Yeah.
At what point did you research Durham and figure out like, hey, this might be actually a great place to work, or what were your initial thoughts when you finally researched Durham?
So
or did you even research it at all?
When I sent the application in, I really didn't research much. I knew that Durham was, a big city compared to where I was coming from. 19 stations. That's a pretty good sized city. When you talk about the fire department world. So I knew it was pretty good, and I had seen some stuff online like Durham's a very aggressive fire department, which obviously coming from a department where you show up to a house fire with 6 people, you got to be semi-aggressive if you're actually going to do any work. And I was fortunate enough to work with people in Indianapolis that were aggressive as well. So that's something I wanted to be a part of. So I looked through it, and after I had sent the application, I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. So I really want to work hard to try to get here. Obviously, doing more research after I had submitted all the stuff, I was like, this is definitely where I want to be. They've got a USAR team. They've got a TR group, team that does stuff. Shout out to the hazmat guys, but I did not want to be a part of the hazmat. Captain Don Gross.
Nobody wants to be a hazmat.
I did not want to be a part of the hazmat thing, but it was
glowworm
cool.
dork.
But they had all that stuff, so I thought, like they've got their own hazmat stuff.
Respect the hazmat. I'm joking.
But yeah, it was definitely a culture that I wanted to be a part of, and then, going through the whole process, it was super cool. Like I said, Miss Mangum again made it so easy for me coming out of state to fly in, get a hotel room, rent a car, because I had to come down here for an interview.
Right.
And then I had to fly back down for like gear fitting and that kind of stuff for when I got hired. And then, it was so smooth for me to get hired here, which is crazy. And my heart goes out to the people that have to try 4 or 5 times to get hired. Because I've talked to guys that are Durham firefighters that they're like, yeah, it took me like 4 or 5 times to get hired in the city. And I'm like,
it's just it's the nature of this job, because it is a popular job. Granted, we don't have the people applying that we did before, but we're talking about, like, it took you 3 times at your first department, right? So you're talking about 120 people testing for 20 slots, or whatever the slots may be, even smaller at a small department. So when you have those numbers, the percentage and the likelihood of you getting hired, it's going to take some time.
It is.
Not unless you just really just ace everything and stand out.
And so I got fortunate too, because I came through in a lateral hiring process.
Right.
So my hiring process there were 13 of us, and we were all laterals from other places. So at that time, the lateral process was a little bit different than it is now. You either had to go through a Durham Tech Fire Academy, or you had to have at least 2 years
With a municipality.
with a municipality.
Right.
Right. So like for me, coming from a city fire department, that was, a city municipality. So I qualified for that. Now I will tell you, like when you come from out of state, your retirement does not come with you. You can roll that money over into the state fire pension plan, but as far as like time and all that stuff towards your pension, you can buy it back, but it's really expensive. So I essentially had to start back over.
I think that part's important because a lot of people who look to lateral may not understand that aspect of it.
Right. So like when you come from out of state, you can roll your former pension into your current pension in the North Carolina system, but your time resets when you come from another state. You can buy time back. I don't know what the current rate is for a year's worth of time, but it is pretty expensive.
It's like it's similar to military, like buying your military time back.
It's like buying your military time back.
Okay.
So I started over, right? So I'm 36 years old. I got 4 kids. I'm starting over in the pension system, and in North Carolina, it's a 30-year career. So.
Which is terrible. It's not the worst thing, but
right, that's a long time.
I would much prefer 20 years, and
20,
I think they've been working on it,
20,
which we'll get
25,
into that.
yeah.
We'll get into that.
But realistically, I'll be a Durham firefighter realistically until I'm 66 years old, God willing, and the creek don't rise. So,
boy, that ain't a country saying right there, boy. God willing, if the creek don't. Hey, listen. All right, so you go through the process. You said Durham was attracted to you because of the USAR element, which is the urban search and rescue, deal with a lot of local and state natural disasters and events. Mm-hmm. Then we got the technical rescue team, which deals with high angle, confined space.
Right.
Things of that nature. We got the water team, boat team, swift water team, and then we also have hazmat. Dealing with chemicals and stuff, right? But so that attracted you once you started researching Durham, and then the aggressiveness of Durham. When you got into the academy, the lateral academy, what was that experience like? How long was your lateral academy? And you got guys coming from different backgrounds, maybe different talents and skill levels. Was that an easy thing for you? Was the way we did things, was that like a culture shock, or like you want to get into that just a little bit?
So, my lateral academy was 3.5 weeks long.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way different. Okay.
Super short, right?
Yeah, okay.
Now it's not. I think it's 6.
They got to do 8, 9 weeks, something like that.
Something like that. So it's obviously longer. Could we have used more time? Probably a little bit more time. But, and we didn't have the academy staff that we have now. So like my lateral academy was taught by the on-shift training captains.
Really?
So, yeah. So at the time it was Captain Gross, Captain Young, and Captain Sellers. Those were the 3 guys.
The mad scientist, Captain Gross, shout out to you. Captain Young, who's retired now. Yeah. And then we had Captain Sellers, he's done training, he was a training captain and did training instructor, so okay.
So we had those guys, and they led our training for the day. Now, Chief Swain, Chief Hall, and Captain Valines were kind of over the academy stuff, and they were the ones that ran our PT every morning. So, shout out to Captain Valines for PTing us like Marines.
Former
like Marines,
former military.
So, and then there were 13 of us, so we got quite a few evolutions every day of whatever we were doing. There were times I felt like, why are we doing this? This is silly, but you still have to go through an academy, right, to bring you up to speed. But it wasn't bad. You can do anything for 3.5 weeks, right? So we did that. Had a good time. Zach Moracle was in my academy. Jacob Tudor.
Okay.
Matthew Swain.
Okay.
Eric Gettenberg was in there.
Baby Swain.
That's right, Baby Swain. We've had a couple guys leave from the department that were in my academy that move on to other things, but
did you feel like you guys bonded in that short time, or?
So we did. We bonded during that time, and probably like, I don't know, maybe a year or two after we talked a lot, but as time has progressed, I don't think we have as strong a bond as like maybe guys from your academy.
I feel like a lot of my guys in my academy, we're still like very tight. I mean, we don't talk every day,
right?
But when I see them, like we have that connection.
So we do too, right? Like whenever I see Big Zach or Morgan Wyndham, see some of these guys that I don't see on a regular basis, it's like, hey, bro, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope things are good with the family, that kind of stuff. But like, we used to have a text group. It was almost like every day something was going out on the text group, or then it got longer and longer. It's like that friend that you used to hang out with and then you don't see him. So, but no, it was fun. We had a good time. They're still my academy brothers. It was weird because we don't have an academy number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're the Lateral Academy from 2018. That's what we got. We never got an academy number. Like our pictures aren't on the wall in the hallway down here.
I didn't even. Your academy picture's not on the wall?
No, we don't have an academy picture.
Wow.
For our graduation, we had a pizza party in the gym.
Y'all got treated like the redheaded stepchild, man. That's crazy.
It was tough.
Shout out all the redheads.
It was tough,
That's crazy, man.
Like we're the unknowns of the fire.
The unknowns. I like that. Y'all should have a shirt. The unknowns.
The unknowns.
No, I mean, listen. When I came out, we didn't have texting. Wasn't like a big thing, so we didn't have a text group. Like I said, when I see each other, it's more of just when we see each other, it's like, yeah, we survived that, and then we'll like every now and then those conversations come up in the station, like, you remember in the academy when you washed back in the shower? That type, like just all type of crazy stuff. Timestamp that just in case that needs to come up. But so you'll hear crazy conversations about things that we did in the academy. So it is a bond that you get when you're with a group of people for a certain amount of time, and then y'all go through. I'm sure the people the academies that have the 8-month academy, I'm sure their bond is super tight.
Yeah.
I don't know if my academy would have made 8 months because some of us was at odds with each other. Like there's a bunch of arguments going on.
Well, so like during my academy, that's when I got the first culture shock of moving from the Midwest to the Southeast, right? There were a couple guys in my academy that definitely had that Southern accent that I didn't understand what they were saying. Like you put a mask on their face, and like it's already kind of hard to hear, and then you have that Southern accent. Again, shout out to Jacob Tudor. I couldn't understand a word he was saying at times when we were doing drills, and I'm like, I know you're talking to me, but I don't know what you're saying. I really I don't know what you're saying.
Say that again.
Yeah. But that was my culture shock. And then when I'll move past the academy, then when I got assigned to my firehouse.
Where do you get assigned?
So I got assigned to Engine 9. And Engine 9 is a USAR house. So I felt super fortunate. Going to the USAR house, the TR, got assigned with a great crew. But I also had somebody at that station that was very hard to understand. Not only did he have a very Southern accent, he had a lisp. And
I know what you're talking about.
It's super hard for me to understand him when I first went there. So huge shout out to Captain Brian Perry.
Captain Perry, that's my driver for years. I love Captain Perry. That was awesome.
So he was very hard for me to understand when I first went there.
I imagine it was hard for you. I knew Captain Perry for years, even before, because I started volunteering at Redwood. And at the time, his wife was working at Redwood, so I've seen him all the time. Actually, I worked with him for years, so again, he does have a little list. But it's crazy because he's an EMS instructor.
Yeah.
And he's a really good EMS instructor at that. Like, he's really
great.
very knowledgeable. He was a paramedic for years, very knowledgeable. Shout out to Brian Perry. But that's hilarious because you had Brian Perry, Dan was
I had Dan Burton.
Dan the Man, Dan Burton,
and then Travis Vickerson.
Travel T Vic. Okay.
Yeah, so that was the crew that I got assigned to. So the craziest part about that is, like, the last couple days of the academy, they told us where we were going, and they're like, "Hey, you probably ought to go out to your firehouse and like introduce yourself so you don't just show up randomly on your first day and nobody knows who you are." So I go to Engine 9 and I knock on the door. Guy answers the door. I was like, "Hey, I'm the new rookie coming to Engine 9." And they were like, "Yeah, nobody from your crew is here." And I was like, "What do you mean? Did I come on the wrong day? Like, isn't this A shift?" And they were like, "Yes, A shift, but they're all off today." So I'm like, oh.
The whole station's off at one time.
They were all off.
That
So it was all
vacation.
subs that came in. And so I didn't actually get to meet my crew until my very first day.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
I go in, and Dan is there, and Travis was there, and I don't remember who else was there, but somebody else was there during the day. And they're like, "Captain Perry is at USAR training. He'll be in tonight to introduce himself and talk to you." I was like, "All right, cool." So I didn't meet him until like 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. He got back from USAR training. So he's already tired, all this kind of stuff. He's meeting a new guy. He pulls me into his office and he's like, "Look," he said, "I've kind of already been told, like, you know what you're doing. You've been on the job for a few years. You know, I got just a couple things. You know, when we go get dispatched, make sure that you're on the truck before me. If we go to a fire, make sure you have a tool in your hand and make sure you have a flashlight." All right, cool. First day, we get a fire. It's no joke. First day, we catch a fire.
Was it a good working fire?
It was a good fire.
Uh-huh.
It was a good working fire. We get off the truck and we're walking up. I got my tool in my hand and I look over and something happened. And I'm apologizing to Captain Perry about this. But something happened. He got tripped or something caught his foot and my man fell. Like almost head first into ladder 2. Helmet's rolling down the street. I was like, what is going on here? Like,
Who's this goofball outside?
we're going down the street, and my man fell right into the front of ladder 2.
Man.
Helmet's rolling down the street. I was like, oh my goodness. So I helped you out. And as we're getting up to the house, I look and I was like, oh man, I forgot a flashlight. He said that was one of his things. So I got my tool. I was like, maybe he won't ask me for a flashlight. Maybe he won't ask me for this flashlight. We go inside and we're doing a little overhaul. And he goes, "Jason, turn your flashlight on over here so I can see." I was like, yeah, about that. I don't have a flashlight with me. He said, "I told you."
I told you to bring one thing. One thing.
He said, "Bring that flashlight." And I was like, I'm like, I don't have it.
Hold on. Yo, you have to do. Hey, hold on. Let me gather myself. That was funny. Hey, no, man. Hey, so you ain't had the flashlight.
No. So he went and bought me a flashlight from like Walmart. Made me carry this thing around.
Don't you leave this joint.
Yeah.
Yo, that's
so
crazy.
that was my first day. And the other thing, like Captain Barry, when you first meet him, you obviously noticed he had been burned. And he was burned as a kid.
Yeah.
But you noticed that he had been burned. And he was like, "Look, this is important. You need to make sure that you keep your gear on. This is what will happen." And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? He's like, "I got burned as a child." And I was like, what does that have to do with me? Keep your gear on you. Like, what?
Yo, it's funny because Captain Perry, I got Captain Perry's story about that. So Captain Perry was very, so we would go to calls and we had this kid who was setting fires. Like he was like this little mini arsonist. He was burning stuff in his yard. And so we was over there and Captain Shazo gave me the spiel like, "Hey man, you don't want to burn your house down, you hurt your family, whatever. And Brian was like, "I got an idea, Captain." And then he went to the kid's parent. He's like, "Hey, do you mind if I got burned. I'm gonna show your kid. Do you mind, whatever?" She's like, "Sure." This man, he said, "Come here, kid." He took his shirt off. He said, "You want this to happen to you? Look, I ain't got no nipple or nothing." Hey, scared straight to another level, man. He's like, no. He's like, well, you don't need to be playing no matches, man. So that was he will tell people all the time how he got burnt, man. That was one story, man. He scared that kid straight, man. I'm convinced he stopped the future fire setter there, man. Another story I have with Captain Perry, just since we're on him, Captain Perry, I don't know if during your tenure he was like this or not, but he used to smoke a lot. He was a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
But Captain Perry, he would quit. Yeah, he's had these bouts where he would quit. Right. So it was all type of things. He would quit smoking, and then at one point he was hiding it from his spouse. He was like, he would leave work and he'll spray himself to make sure he don't have take a shower and all that stuff. So at one point he would do it, and I'm not snitching, so I know what you guys are thinking. I'm not snitching. This is well known at this point. So then, so one time he was doing his little bout of quit smoking. We were at Station 7, and he came to me that morning. He was like, baby boy, I don't care what I say. Do not give you these cigarettes back. Do not give them back to me. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to throw them in the trash can. He's like, throw them in the trash can. I don't care. Captain Shades was like, do not throw them in the trash can. He's going to want those back today. I guarantee it. So he's like, just throw them in your locker. So I threw them in my locker. Man, about lunchtime, Captain Perry, he leaves and goes across the street from Station 7 to that little Exxon. He goes to buy something, whatever. Well, there's a domestic dispute going on. And at some point, somehow, the glass window in the store got broken. And Captain Perry is hightailing across the street. We gotta call it a radio. Call it a radio. There's a domestic fight going on. And so he then immediately comes to me. He says, Junior, give me my cigarettes. I said, I ain't got nothing in the trash can. He said, stop with me. Stop playing with me. Give me my cigarettes. This man was on my tail. I said, you told me to destroy him. He's like, I need my cigarettes now. I said, you just quit this morning. Captain Shay's like, give him the cigarettes, Junior. You see he's stressed out right now. Man, Captain Perry was hilarious. Man. I love that guy. Shout out to you, Captain Perry. I love Brian, man. So you go to Station 9, right?
Yeah.
I do remember one thing about you that I was going. At what point do you come? You left 9 to come to rescue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think about the rescue, and I remember this. You came with Captain Maurer, or was Captain Boone still there? You came with Captain Maurer.
Captain Maurer.
So Captain Boone left.
Yeah.
All right. So I do know one thing. So, and I told you this before. So I remember we had an after action review or critique. It was the trench call had happened.
Oh man.
And we had been. This was like the first day. It was my first day on the rescue, so it was very hectic. A lot of stuff going on. There were things we could have improved on, and we had.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a lot of things that were talked about, and we were pretty much like the targets were on our back the whole time, the whole meeting. So we were being critiqued this whole meeting, and I remember one thing I remember with you, and when I found out you was coming here, I didn't have a problem with you, but I do remember. You in the meeting after we done got raked over the coals, you was like, well guys, I think we know like this was wrong, right? Like we could have did better, whatever. And for some reason, I was like, who is this mother scruncher talking? Who is this new mother scruncher? I mean, I don't know how new you were in the department at the time, but I felt like at that time, this dude don't have a place to be talking right now. Why is he making a comment? Right. We done got raked over the coals, and the last thing I want to hear is from a guy that's new in this department that I don't even know like that. But I remember that aspect of it, and then you came to Rescue 1. Yeah. And again,
So during that after action, so for a lot of people that don't know, we had a pretty good...
It was a real life trench call.
Real life trench call. I mean, it was very extensive, long
day. Very long day.
And a lot of the guys and gals here, didn't know any of my background, right? They didn't, because I'd been, my previous department, I've been on a few trench calls, confined space calls, things like that because of our technical rescue team there. But a lot of people here didn't know that I had any kind of background. It's like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
Right? So during that meeting, I just posed the question. I said, so this is how we're going to do things. That's literally what I said. So this is how we're going to operate. This is how we're going to do things.
It came from an arrogant. It sounded like an arrogant space for us.
Right.
For us,
And I didn't mean for it to come across that way by any means. But I do remember there was some very heated discussion after that point, and some people were very upset at the fact that I said some things.
Hey man, new guys, and again, we didn't know your background, right?
Yeah.
But I say this again, new people, if you're new into the fire department, hold your comments to yourself, not unless you're specifically asked for your comments. And again, I didn't have a problem with it. I just thought, I was like, who is this guy that's over here talking right now? I don't know. At that point, I had already zoned out. I was like, man, I'm tired of being critiqued at this point. So
like that was a rough call. There were a lot of things that went really right, and there were a few things that went not so right. But but at the end of the day,
we got 2 grabs.
Yeah.
And no one got seriously hurt from my department. So that was cool.
But that was actually the second trench call that I was on in Durham. We had that other one that was at NCCU.
Yeah, that was that before or after?
I think that one was before.
Okay.
I think that one was before.
We had a series of trench call within like a year period where
that was what was cool about being assigned to Engine 9 is I still got to be part of the technical rescue team, right? Like,
because Engine 9, Ladder 2, Rescue 1, Ladder 12, they make up the rescue team. For those that don't know, so we have a rescue group. So, Ladder 2, Ladder 12, Engine 9, Rescue 1 are the rescue group. Yeah. And so you outside of your USAR responsibilities and water rescue was something y'all went to all the rescue calls in the city as well. So.
Which was awesome. So I spent a couple years at Engine 9, and then Alex Reynolds got promoted off of the rescue.
Right, yep.
He got promoted to driver, and so that opened up a firefighter's position. And I wasn't going to put in for the spot on the rescue. But I had a couple people say, hey, man, like, you should go ahead and put in for it. Like, yeah, we know that you've only been in Durham a couple years, but go ahead and put in. Captain Perry also encouraged me to do it. And I don't know if he was just trying to get rid of me or what the deal was. But so I called Captain Hamlin, and I asked his opinion because, he was a captain on the rescue truck. And he's like, yeah, if you want to, he said, I would also reach out to Captain Maurer and just talk to him before you apply for it or put your name in the hat. And I said, okay. So I reached out, and I had never worked with Captain Maurer. I really didn't know Captain Maurer at that point. And he was like, yeah, if you want to put your name in the hat, go ahead. He said, I'm going to try to help look at, credentials and that kind of stuff. So I put the transfer paperwork in, and again, got fortunate enough to go to the rescue. I will tell you, like, I know what my current assignment is, driver of Engine 2, best engine in the city. But I will tell you that the best assignment in the city is being assigned to the rescue, in my opinion, because you go to all the working fires, you go to extrications, you go to technical rescue calls. Like, you get to go to the calls.
And a lot of good training.
That firefighters want to go to, right? Those are the calls that firefighters want to go to. And you get to do a lot of great training. It's just an awesome truck to be a part of, company to be a part of.
You do get it. You have a lot of equipment that you can play with and train with. When you applied, again, I didn't know much about you other than that. So when Captain Maurer was asking our opinion, I was like, I don't know, dude. I know he critiqued us, but whatever. I'm cool. Whatever you decide, Captain, I'm cool with. So and there was kind of like a changing of the whole, because we lost Captain Boone and we lost Alex, so we had to bring in Captain Maurer. Shout out Captain Maurer, and then you came in as well, and then we had our new crew. And you came to station 1, came to rescue, came positive attitude, and that the rest was history. It was good times. Now I want to kind of transition, because I know you talked about in your old department, you're part of the union, and because you have this union stuff on, it wouldn't be right without mentioning your role in the union now.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, what was your role? Were you in the union at your old department, and what was your role there?
I was union president there.
Union president.
Yeah.
And ironically, you joined the union in Durham. You didn't start as a union president though. How did you start?
So at the very end of my academy here, we had Captain Urbano and Captain Towner and Captain Wright were all the executive board on the union here, and they came towards the end of our academy and said, "Hey, we're really working hard to build the local back in Durham, and we want you guys to sign up." And immediately I was like, "Yep," because I've been a union member since day one, and in my old department in Indiana, and there's just too much benefit of being a union member. So I was just like, yeah, absolutely, I'm signing up. And we were part of that, really growing the union back strong in Durham. Because at one point, I think the total number of union members was like down to 20 or below at one point.
So yeah, the union had fell off. I don't know if it was changing of the guard or if just whoever was in charge. I don't know what happened, but at one point, the union, they were thriving. And I wasn't that involved in the union. I was a member, but I wasn't involved. I wouldn't say I'm that involved now. But I try to come to functions and try to do stuff now. Or, it was great having you at the station because you would keep us up to date. But I will feel like before, I felt like, I was in the union, I didn't see any benefits of being in the union before.
Right.
I think a lot of people got to that point where they're like, why are we in it? And so that's why people start withdrawing. But I do remember it was a push. I had a Captain Nate Towner, who was, when y'all started pushing the union back, he would I remember the push and just them trying to just show people, hey, this is what we've done, this is what we're doing,
right.
This is why you should join. So I remember that initial push, and then I remember the union, this might have been before you, but I remember when the Chief Z started coming and they're just meeting with him and just giving their thoughts and all that. With that being said, I think there has been a lot of improvement in the union. I think the union is night and day to what I remember it being. Again, I was the most active member, so my thought process might be wrong on the union. But I do feel like your presence now on social media is more, you guys are more vocal. We get a lot more information now. So with that being said, just tell us about what you've been able to accomplish since you've been part of the e-board, and then just what you guys got going on right now, and why people should join the union.
So for us, we've had some pretty significant wins over the last couple years, and I can't take full credit for it. My predecessor, Captain Jimmy Wright.
Captain Wright, yep.
He laid all the groundwork down for me, right? There's been some heavy lifting and some battles that we've had to do during my time as the union president, but without Captain Wright, we would have not gotten where we are today. So last year, we got a significant increase in our starting pay, which helped throughout the ranks. And I truly believe without the union push and talking to city leadership, department administration, and really working hard to get them to understand that we are so far behind that we can't stay competitive in the market. People are leaving our department, going elsewhere, and nobody's looking at Durham to come here because they can't afford to work here anymore. Once we got that reiterated and they did the pay study, we got a 17% increase for starting pay for firefighters, which is huge. So we've done that over the last couple of years. Another thing that we really pushed hard on was our immediate acting pay. That was a big thing. So before,
that just passed not too long ago, right? Yep.
Yeah. So before, you had to work. So the way acting works is, as a driver, if my captain was off, I would move over to the captain seat and act as a captain, and then maybe a relief driver would move up and drive the truck. So we're both in acting positions. And you had to work in that position for 6 days before you would get paid as that position, right?
Right.
So the thing that really kind of struck me about that was, if I act for that day, you never know what's going to happen that day. Like, I'm going to have to make, as a driver, I'm going to have to make captain decisions that day. Right?
Full responsibility.
You are fully responsible. So, and that actually happened when the gas explosion happened downtown.
Right.
The normal captain was off on engine 1. They had a relief captain or an
was it
acting
Emily?
captain.
Was it Emily or Speedy?
Speedy.
Speedy. Okay. Yeah.
So like, acting captain that day, he didn't know what he was getting into at 7 o'clock in the morning. He didn't know what his day had laid out in front of him. And, you had a city block explode.
Yeah.
Right? So we fought really hard to get this policy pushed through. And it took a lot of back and forth. And, shout out to some people in our administration, and shout out to HR department for willing to listen and work with us. But after a lot of back and forth, getting the policy right, we've got it in place now. So if you act a day, you get paid for that day. You don't have to do 6 days. Because the problem was, we had a lot of people that were working like 2-3 days as a captain or 2-3 days as a driver, and then not being compensated for it. And we felt like it was right for our members to be compensated for what they're asked to do.
And I felt like that policy was always a terrible policy, just because that 6 days isn't guaranteed that you're going to make 6 days.
Right.
Because we're off. We have 5-day breaks, right?
Yeah.
So you take that. Yeah. So the captain may be off his 5 day. Well, in that 6th day, he's coming back.
Exactly.
And so you done work the whole work period in this responsibility, took all the responsibilities, whatever the case may be, and now he comes back and you're screwed out of your pay, right? Like, you're done, right?
Yep.
Which I know, again, in yesteryear, there would be times where I felt like there were some practices done where they purposely took people out of.
So I'd heard the stories about that too, right? Like that was happening prior to me coming to Durham.
Right, allegedly. This is way in the past, right? It's like 90s, that time frame. But it was like, that just sucked. I feel like why we're not that pressed for money. Like, why are we trying to harm our people, right? So
that was tough, but we got it done, right? We have. One of the things that we also got accomplished was we pushed hard during the COVID pandemic. Post-COVID pandemic, the city was charging people an additional fee that were not vaccinated for their health insurance. There was like a fee for not being vaccinated. We pushed hard to get that off of their health insurance. Like, you shouldn't be charging people because they didn't get vaccinated during the pandemic. No matter what your political view is or whatever it is, we didn't think it was fair. It's not fair for them to be charged. So they kind of had an end date in mind, but the local pushed and said, no, we need to stop this now. Like, we're kind of post-pandemic. You need to stop charging these people this extra fee now because it's not fair to them. That the United States government's not charging people, all this kind of stuff. And so we got it. We were able to push that and get that ended. I will say that we have established a really good communication line with city leadership. So, our city council members, the mayor, our new city manager, the old city manager, we had pretty good working relationship where, we can set up meetings to have open meetings with us, which is great. Council members, we can text back and forth. So we've got that great relationship with our city council. There's things that we're currently working on right now. We have a policy that we're looking to try to get revised. I can't really go into super detail about it, but hopefully we'll be working on trying to get a policy that is a zero tolerance policy. I'm trying to help get that revised, so that way, you know, we say all the time we're here for our members, right? Even the department, the city, they say we are here for our employees. But when you have a policy that is a zero tolerance policy, are you really there for the employee? Are you really there for them? So we're working on trying to change one of the policies to really be able to help our members get help that they might need for different things. So working on that. We've got a few other irons in the fire that we're working, you know, with city leadership, with the department on. So yeah, we're
yeah, I think you and Jimmy took great strides again, like that, just having that relationship with council members and being able to, y'all harvest this relationship where now it's not like you got to jump through hoops. Like, I'm sure they're not the easy to get in touch with, but you have a working relationship with them now that you can, you know, if you have something that you want to voice to them, they will give you that time.
Yeah.
So you worked hard at that. And then the other good thing you guys are doing is not just at a city level, state level. You work with state representatives, right, and try to, like the...
Yeah, so I'm also a district vice president for the state union, the PFF-PNC, so Professional Firefighters and Paramedics of North Carolina. I'm the District 3 vice president. So, you know, I have Durham, Chapel Hill, Carrboro, Raleigh, Fayetteville, and Wilson all fall in my district. So try to help answer as much as I can with them, work with them on issues that they may be having. You know, District 3 is the best district in the PFF-PNC, hands down. Best
District 3?
So yeah, we work with state legislators. You know, we've got one of the best presumptive cancer bills and cancer laws in the country. You know, we cover pretty much all cancers that are firefighter related.
You're speaking of state of North Carolina.
The state of North Carolina.
Right.
So the state of North Carolina now covers pretty much all cancers in the presumptive cancer bill. So that was a huge win for us, and shout out to the IAFF for coming down and really working with us and our state legislators to make that happen. Like I said, it's one of the best in the country that we have. So we have that. I know everybody asks every year, and it does come up, the 25-year retirement, right? We are working and looking at different strategies on how we can make it work. Try to present it different to whoever legislators will hear it. And because 30 years is a long time to be doing this job. It takes a toll on your body, on your psyche,
Yes.
you know, on your family, all of that. And so, you know, if we can reduce the amount of time that our members are being exposed to the toxins, to the mental part of it, just the physical part of it, if we can reduce that amount of time, then, you know, we feel like they deserve that. Even 25 years is a long time to be doing this job. So, you know, we work on that every year, and we're also working on a Freedom of Speech Act for firefighters, you know, because unfortunately, firefighters are held to a different standard when it comes to social media and things like that, because you are a firefighter, and it's great. You know, we are held to a higher standard, and I think we should be. But there have been firefighters that have been caught in a kind of a pickle when they voiced their own personal political views or opinions, and it doesn't align with whatever municipality they work for. If it says on their social media, works for blah, blah, blah fire department, then, you know, they can get kind of hemmed up on that.
And you're just want to be clarified, just so people you're not voicing that people should be allowed to post hate speech or anything like that,
not
right?
at all, not at all.
Just,
No.
They just shouldn't be, if they're against vaccines, they shouldn't be punished for
right, absolutely.
being an anti-vax or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah. We will never advocate for any kind of hatred or anything like that. There's zero tolerance with that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But if you want to post, your political view or whatever it is, we don't feel like you should be penalized for, your freedom of speech for that. And there are places that do that to firefighters, and unfortunately, it's cost them their jobs at times. So that's one of those things we're working on, a Bill of Rights, freedom of speech for firefighters. So we got that going. It's honestly, I feel like in the state of North Carolina, we don't have collective bargaining here. It's against the law in North Carolina to have collective bargaining, so there's no contracts. You can't have that. But I feel like we have a really good open dialogue right now in a lot of municipalities with the local and city leadership. Now, there are some departments across the state that are going to battle with city leadership. And I think the cities and towns are starting to see, like, they're not here to hurt us. They're actually here to protect their membership, one. But then two, like, most of the time when we bring ideas to them, it's either a cost saving initially or somehow it's going to save them money in the long run, right? Here locally, we've been asking for years for cancer screenings, right? Like, to help protect our members for early cancer detection is huge for us. And the earlier and sooner you can detect cancer, the easier the treatment is on the person. And actually, it's going to cost less for the municipality to have to pay out for insurance purposes and all that kind of stuff. So we've been asking for years for this. And we thought this year, we thought for sure we were like really close to getting it approved for the budget. And, it didn't make it in this year's budget. So we're coming up with a game plan again for next year to help present for the city budget, to help us, get some cancer screenings into the city and get some things done. So that's what's kind of really important to us.
It sounds like you guys have gotten a lot accomplished, and it sounds like our department is very supportive. You guys have a working relationship with administration here with us?
So we do. We have a working relationship with our administration. There's 3 different employee groups, and so
can we just name real quick the difference in the 3?
Okay.
Like you guys are this is the union, so you guys are
with professional firefighters.
Professional firefighters are down, right? So
right.
You're looking at a lot of the cancer research, the pay, things of that nature,
Right.
Grievances that some people may have, right? That's what you guys do.
Disciplinary actions,
right.
things like that, right?
And then you got the Bull City firefighters.
Bull City Bravest. Aren't they Bull City Bravest?
Bull City professional firefighters.
Bull City, yeah.
So but that's more community service based.
Yes.
They'll take on grievances too, and they'll partner with you guys as well.
Yeah,
all 3 unions will partner on certain initiatives together and try to get things done.
With Bull City, we have we've partnered with the blood drive in the past, which if you ever see any of the social media about the blood drive, go do it, donate. It's always beneficial. We have a great working relationship with them. Their president is Captain Melvin. So he's awesome, doing great things with that.
Shout out Travis.
Yeah.
Always doing something. Travis.
I'm pretty sure Travis has been named in every one of the podcasts.
Travis' name is always coming up, man. Travis, great name comes up a lot too.
Yeah.
So
you have them, and then you have All In, which is an all-inclusive group. I think it used to be considered like the women's group.
Yes.
It
used to be.
But it's theirs is more just an all-inclusive rights group. And their president is Carter. And Carter also sits on our executive board. She is the secretary for the local, and Carter makes sure that I keep my wheels turning. Carter keeps me on track. Like, I could not do what I do without Carter. She's amazing for the local.
And Travis is also on the local too, right? He's
a member of the local.
Yeah.
So Travis used to be on the executive board until he took over the the president's position
At the Bull City.
with Bull City.
Yeah.
So we have an employee group meeting once a month with our administration. So it's the 2 deputy chiefs and the fire chief, and then each one of the groups is represented during these meetings, and we have really good discussion. A lot of things during that meeting, we kind of keep within the group until we can let some things out. But we do bring issues from each group. We bring issues to them, and I will tell you that there are times where we agree on certain things, and there are times we disagree, and we just kind of have to go about it our way. But I will say that I feel like we have a really good working relationship right now with our administration, and we have our own opinions on how things should be done, but we have been able to come together and have some mutual agreements.
Yeah.
Give a little, take a little, that kind of stuff. So I think we're in a good spot right now.
It sounds good. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
So we're at the part of the show where we like to talk about. You already talked about one call, right? Like you talked about the anthrax. Just any calls that stand out. It could be do you have a close call? Let me ask you that. Do you have a close call, whether it's here or?
I do.
Right.
I have a close call. It was not with Durham. I have a pretty fun call. I'll talk about that one with Durham. But I had a close call in my old department, and it was like 1,800 square foot ranch house. We got dispatched to a fire, and when we got there, it had heavy, like that brown, just dirty smoke pushing hard. It was supercharged. Probably was not one of our greatest decisions, but so we made entry. I was on the first line in. We made entry in the front door, and immediately it was zero visibility, high heat, like we're belly crawling, trying to get back. We knew where the fire was, but for some reason the layout wasn't what it should have been in this house. Like typically, like when you go in one of these ranch houses, you go in the living room, and if the door is on, like we're going to call it the Alpha Delta corner, because that's terms we know. Mm-hmm. If that door is there, you kind of go in and you can zigzag to your left.
When we say the Alpha Delta, for those that don't know, we're talking about the right side of the house.
Yeah,
if you're looking
front
at
right corner.
Right corner, all right, yeah.
So typically you kind of zigzag a little bit in that front room, and your hallway should be to the left. Well, this house was not set up that way. When you came in that door, you should have gone exactly to your right, and then the hallway was there.
Wow.
But we came in, and like I said, we were trying to advance the hose line, and it was super hot. We're belly crawling. There were 3 of us in there, and I just remember, like, there was a huge picture window on the front of this house, and I kept thinking, why are we not taking this window out? Why are we not taking this window out? And they said, don't take the window. We don't have ventilation set up yet. Do not take the window. I think they were afraid it was going to flash on them if we took the window. So we're like, okay. And my captain at the time got turned around. We all got turned around in this room. And I just remember the air I was breathing. It hurt to breathe. It was super hot to breathe. And I was like, I told him, I said, hey, we've got to get out of here. This is not good. Like, I can't breathe anymore.
Hold on, just because explain that statement. When you're talking about the air to breathe, right? You're talking about, like, you were on air, but just the tank, whatever.
Yeah,
you're in a hot environment, so it just makes everything.
We're literally belly crawling across the floor, trying to get back to where the fire was, so we could get a hit on this fire. And the conditions inside, we should not have been where we were, at least not at that point. So when you're laying on your belly, you are as low as you can possibly get in that building, and the air in our
theory,
tanks,
that's where it's cooler at.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But the air in our tanks was so hot, like it was so hot that like it just hurt to breathe. Like it felt like it was burning, as you're trying to take a breath. So you're taking little short breaths because it hurt. And I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if a guy from the outside or whatever, if it burned through, but behind us, the ceiling got a hole in it, basically right inside the front door where we had come in. And so fire came down from the attic and rolled the room. And I wouldn't call it a flashover. I don't know if it just rolled the ceiling or whatever. But at that point, they hit the horns. We were able to get the hose line and get out. We left it, followed the hose line out. And I remember one of the deputy chiefs, his name was Donnie Ogle. We used to call him Dad because he was like a dad to everybody. He'd been at the fire department for like 45 years. Mm-hmm. He was standing out there, and he hugged every one of us. He's like, I thought I lost you guys. And I was like, I thought I lost me too. but yeah, I remember he hugged me, and I was like, don't touch me. It hurt so bad when he touched. Because, like the way our gear's designed, the air pockets in your gear create that barrier so you don't get burned as easily inside your bunker gear. Well, when you collapse that air pocket, it burns you, and it hurt. And I was like, don't touch me. I don't mean to be rude, don't touch me. And that was a close one. That was probably the closest. I thought, man.
What's some lessons you learned from that?
So for me, like obviously reading smoke, right? At the time, I don't think that smoke reading was like a big thing yet. Like it was just starting, that smoke reading thing. So, reading what the smoke is, right? You can tell a lot by the color, the density, how hard it's pushing out of a building, things like that. The other thing too is having a coordinated attack. Do I think you can advance a hose line before ventilation? Yeah, I do. But I think having somebody ready for ventilation at kind of having that coordinated attack, that's huge because it gives so much relief to those guys that are in the inside. Vertical, horizontal, whatever. But having that ventilation in place definitely helps the guys on the hose line. The other part of that is, staffing. Staffing is key. Like I told you, we didn't have a whole lot of staffing with that department.
2 stations?
Yeah. So having the staffing we have here in Durham, even though we're not anywhere close to where I'd love to see us be, I'd love to see every truck riding 4.
4 heavy.
Yeah. And rescue riding 5. We should have that staffing here, but the staffing we have here is significantly better than the staffing, just really because we send more trucks, right? We have that availability to send more units. But, that helps. That really, really helps, and crew integrity. That day, it was kind of a hodgepodge crew on a couple of the trucks that were there. So having that crew integrity is a big thing.
I think that's very important, and that's where it kind of get into the when we talk about roving or people, the importance of having your crew, just because you know what the other person's thinking, know what they plan on doing, how they operate, I can tell you to do something, or when we're on a rescue, Cap Maurer could tell you something that he could trust that you're going to do it. He doesn't have to worry about what you're going to do. Just knowing and working with a group of people is very important. So when you do get low staffing, it becomes, all right, never met this guy before. He just got checked off so now he's finally roving.
Right.
What is his skills like, right? And that just becomes a thing. So I agree. I think everybody agrees 4 in a truck makes a world of difference.
It's huge.
4 from 3 makes a world of a difference. So we would love to see us to get there one day.
And I think we will. From a union standpoint, I think we will. Really, what we need right now is we just need people to apply here. Durham's a great place to work, right? Our pay is super competitive now. We're still the aggressive fire department we were, I feel like.
Hands down.
Talking to guys and gals from the past, we're still super aggressive. We might not go to as many fires, but we're still aggressive.
We go more than a lot of departments.
We do.
So.
We do still go to a lot of fires compared. You know, and I feel like you get to be a firefighter here, right? I
Get
don't
to be a gangster.
You do. You know, I'm not a janitor that gets to ride a red truck.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's a great place to work. I love working here. So I think that is one of those things that should help draw people here to get us to that 4-person staffing. So yeah, that was my close call. One of our gangster calls is, do you remember that fire that we went to on Mint Street? Were you with us that night?
Mint Street. Explain it to me.
It was that B Shift had the fire before us, the day before us, in that vacant building.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then we had the fire the next day at the same building.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't a rekindle; it just got reset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I remember we went in, and this was a 2-story. It was almost like an old school or dorm or something. I don't know what the original building was, but downstairs had multiple bedrooms, and then upstairs kind of the same layout. So we went downstairs, and we searched those rooms real quick. Top is just absolutely rocking and rolling, and we go back. And we went up the stairwell on the Delta side of the building. And I remember we got to the top of the stairwell, and so it was Captain Maurer, Travis, Hamlet, and myself. And then I believe Squad 4 was paired up with us that night. So you might have been off that night. I don't know. But anyhow, like we got to the top, and the landing had burned out on the stairs. So like the stairs were there, and then there was no landing to get to the second floor.
I think I was this one. I want this one.
So, so we're... And it was a long lay back to get water up into the hose lines, but we were like, hey, we need, you know, for us in Durham, the building is not clear until we say it's clear, right? Like we're going in to search buildings. You
never know.
Yeah, it's not vacant.
Right.
It's abandoned, but it's not vacant.
Exactly.
Right. So we're going up to that second floor to search. Well, where the hose line was going up, they were on the Bravo side, and the fire was obviously in the middle of the building, and we were on the Delta side. And we're like, hey, we've got a couple rooms over here. We can search real quick. No big deal. So we jump over where the landing had burned out from the night before from that fire. So we jump over that, and we're starting to search these rooms. And Captain Maurer was like, hey, guys, I need you guys to come back. He tells me and Travis, he's like, come back. Fire's starting to bank down on us a little bit. Things are changing on us. So we jump back over the landing, and we're on the stairwell. And I remember Captain Maurer told them that he's like, all right, we're clear from the second floor. Go ahead and, you guys can start hitting it. Well, I remember Travis looked at me because you could see like the smoke layer. Because where we were like hunched down, there's really no smoke. But like above us, you could see the different thermal layers. And you could see, occasionally you could see a little flicker of fire come through the smoke. Right. And Travis, I remember he looked at me, he was like, man, this is some Hollywood stuff right here. This is like
perfect.
Hollywood firefighting here. And as soon as they opened that nozzle, boom, you could feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, when you say Hollywood, I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, you see the shows 911 and stuff like that. It looks like you can see the fire perfectly. You can see clearly in the building. I don't think a lot of people understand. When we go in the fire, it's literally like a hand in front of your face. Like you can't see in front of yourself. You can see an orange glow. You might actually see the fire if you're close enough. But a lot of times we go in these buildings, it's zero visibility. You're just feeling your way through it until, you get to where you have the light from the fire lighting up the room. And then after that, once you put the fire out, then it's steam, smoke. It's a bunch of, then it's dark again. You're constantly doing this on your mask, trying to be like, what? I can't see. I can't see. So, hey, man, it's a lot of great. It is fun.
Yeah. Well,
it's exciting.
So you say I can't see. I like to tell people I do my best work in the dark.
Do my best work in the dark. Hey, listen. Listen, we got to wrap it up. Because we're pushing here close to 2 hours. I mean, an hour and 30 minutes. I said 2 hours. Wow. But listen, there is a question that we have for you. I have a user question, but we'll ask this one. Patrick, what's the question?
Yeah, this one was from Captain Marcy when we recorded his a couple weeks ago. He wanted to know if you could work at any station that you have not yet worked at. Where would you want to work, and why would you want to work at that station?
And I have to answer that question. That's tough. So obviously, the stations I have been at that time were the best stations, right? But I have never been assigned to Station 3, and
Red Diablo. You want to go to Red Diablo?
I will tell you, like, Station 3 would be a lot of fun to go to. They run a lot of good calls, and you know, that's where gangsters get to be gangsters.
3 is one of those stations. Hey, you hear it, Chief? You heard him. You heard him. He want to go 3. Hey, you want to go 3? Who? I don't even know who's captain on 3 on A shift right now.
Captain Whitfield.
Whitfield on the ladder, right?
Yep, and Captain.
Is it Martin?
Yeah,
Captain Martin.
Captain
Okay.
Martin on the engine.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
He said if you have an opening, he wants to go.
I'm content.
Well, you got Captain Ennis, right? That's your captain. Who else is on your truck?
Captain Ennis. I've got Sam McNeil.
Sam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Giggles.
And Giggles. And then I don't know why they decided to put both A-shift Davises on the same truck, but I got Josh Davis on my truck.
Oh, man.
So we got 2 Jay Davises on the same truck.
Very confusing.
Yeah. And it's easy for reports, is what Captain Ennis says. So super easy for doing reports. Just Jay Davis, and we're both right there. And then our rookie, Andrew Breedlove.
Breedlove. Okay, yes.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury.
Yep.
So he's on our truck. But yeah, if I had any station to go to that I could choose that I have not been assigned to, it'd be Station 3. They go to some really good calls. Yesterday they had that junkyard fire, a scrapyard fire.
So you do want to be a glowworm.
No, I want to go to fires.
No. They did have that fire. It was extremely hot. I was glad I wasn't there. It was hot.
They put it in yesterday.
Long day.
Yeah,
Long day. They put in work, and they did a great job. Shout out to Captain Wilfield noticing some things, and Captain Triplet at Communications. He handled
that well.
He handled it very well. So one question you have for our next guest.
All right. My question would be, well, it kind of depends. If your next guest is a rookie or not a rookie, or a newer guy in the department.
It sounds like our next guest is going to be newer, younger.
5 years. 5 years in.
Yeah, 5 or less for sure.
I guess my question to them is, where do you see yourself in 20 years, and what have you done to prepare yourself for that?
That's awesome. I like that question. That's awesome. Hey, man. Well, listen. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, everything you do for the members here, the members. The members. Patrick, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, I'm still writing down his question, so we don't forget it. Thank you guys for listening to the Bull City Bravest podcast and for joining us. We hope you're making it a semi-regular thing now and enjoying. If you would, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. That would help us big time, help us grow it a little bit. And then follow us on social media, Durham City Fire on Instagram, Durham Fire Department on Facebook, and join Durham FD on both of those formats as well. Tim, you got anything?
Hey, again, I appreciate all the love I get. I do be getting comments about the podcast. Very great comments and just thoughts and concerns. So I appreciate everybody that comments. Join Durham FD. It's a new page. We're trying to help it grow. So by sharing it, liking, it'll help us grow and just get people into the fire department to see this side of the fire department as far as just any questions they may have. We have a lot of content up there just to show you what we do. Like, follow, subscribe. Again, Jason Davis, fire driver here at Durham Fire Department of engine number 2. I appreciate you, my dear friend. Shout out to your family.
Hey, shout out to my family, my wife Miriam, my 4 kids, Lily, Jay, Nolan, and Heath.
And listen, man, thank you for your time, man. It's a pleasure, brother. Always,
Thanks, brother.
always a pleasure,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, don't forget to like and watch our videos on Professional Firefighters.
Professional firefighters, yes. We try to share their videos as much as possible. So yeah, go follow them too on Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram.
Give them the full handle so they know where to go.
I believe all of our social media is Professional Firefighters of Durham, Local 668. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So we're out there.
You tell he old. X. You're on X.
Sorry, X. Yeah, I'm old. So we're on all of those. Great social media team, and I think all the social media teams within the department are starting to work together. Yeah. So really, you get to see what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's our time. Until next time, it was a pleasure. It was fun, and I'll holler at you.